Hello, hello, Julia Jordan with Keller Williams, The Woodlands, your favorite real estate agent, coming to you with a question: what is a final walkthrough and why do we do it? So in the past we had agents, they were like, oh yeah, we go to title company on the buyer side. They were on the buyer side. And after that we do the final walkthrough. And I'm like, well, okay, you do you, boo. But the purpose of the final walkthrough is to look for major damages. I literally have an agent friend when I started my career many years ago, and he once bought a fixer-upper. It was in Fifth Ward, so it was a little bit in a turnover neighborhood, to say at least, and it was in a very bad shape. It was a wooden house on a pier and beam foundation, and he was like, you know, for my clients I always do a final walkthrough, but this one is for myself. I don't need to do a final walkthrough. So he went to title, got the keys, closed, funded, house was totally his. He comes back, the city came in and tore the whole thing down because it was, you know, it was like a dangerous property. Kids started playing there and the city was afraid that it collapses and someone gets hurt. So they came with a bulldozer and just ran that thing over. So there was no more property. And of course he totally overpaid because now he didn't have a home anymore on it. I mean, it was a crappy home anyways, but he was planning to fix it up and rent it out or sell it or whatever. And all of a sudden he just lost $60,000 or $100,000 or something like that right there. So why do we do a final walkthrough? We want to see major potential damage. Did we burn down? Did the house get flooded? Did a tornado come over and take off the roof? We are not looking for a nail hole. We are not looking, okay, the owner now moved out and there's a tiny dent in the front door. It could be wear and tear. Who knows, was it there before or not? We're not looking for that. We're looking for major things, okay? Did someone come in and vandalize? Did someone come in? Maybe a divorce situation, you don't know, seller divorce situation, wife comes in, tears down all the kitchen cabinets, or rips a hole in, or bangs a hole into every drywall in the house. Or I've seen houses where someone had PTSD and took a hammer to every surface. If you take a hammer to every single granite counter, to every single cabinet, to every single drywall, every door frame, every door, every faucet, every sink, every hardy plank outside, that is a whole lot of money. That's probably easily 100K that you're looking at. Oh, I forgot the floor. Damaged the floors, hitting the toilet, like literally breaking what you can break in a rage. That's why we do a final walkthrough. You never know. Some people, squatters, could have come in and damage everything or get everything dirty or make a, I heard of a house, they made a fire in the gas fireplace, which is not supposed to burn wood, and they just ripped off the doors and the door frames and burned them because they wanted to have a fire in the house. They were drug addicts and they just had the wildest ideas. That's why we do a final walkthrough. As a courtesy, if the other agent is not scheduling a final walkthrough, we give exactly one reminder because we're nice, but I stopped doing the other agent's job. If it does not affect my client, I'm not doing it. Doing the transaction, often we do the work for both sides, and that's totally okay. I get paid for one side, but often we do both. If the other agent is simply not picking up or not talking to the lender or not finding solutions, then we find the solutions. That's totally fine. But if they don't do their homework for their own clients, what is affecting that buyer's future, that is not my responsibility anymore, and I stopped babysitting other agents. And we actually had a thing early this year, my broker got involved, property transferred, and the agent was like, yeah, we do a final walkthrough just after closing. And I'm like, well, that's not the purpose of a final walkthrough, but you do, you boo. And she was such a pain during the transaction, very, very uneducated, using language, very aggressive, and it's not helpful for the transaction. So what do? We hunker down, we get very professional, very silent, everything switches to email, very responsive, but very silent, and we don't give a flip about all those accusations and words that are thrown out, and we just run our race straight to the closing table. And after that, the buyer's client on the other side was not happy, and they considered taking an attorney, and it it just went nowhere because the agent dropped the ball on so many areas. Also, the seller did not do anything wrong at that point, in my personal opinion. Seller was very honest, and there were issues. They appeared weeks and weeks after closing, and the buyer was very broken. The buyer wanted to hold the seller accountable, what was not possible in this case. But I'm not an attorney, so all of that goes to attorneys, and at that point the agents are out after closing. What is a pity? And I had it twice last year, or this current year, that things went to attorneys, and in both cases my client was spoken right. So they did not have to pay, or they were held clear and free and did everything right. And that's why you cross your T's, that's why you dot your I's, and that's why you don't know, you want to give your aunt the business, that's good, but your aunt has a real estate license, but she didn't sell a house in 2-3 years. Maybe she's not the best one for you. Maybe she can get you to the closing table, but there are so many things to keep you safe, even little things like final walkthrough. Do a final walkthrough. And if my client doesn't want to do a final walkthrough, I cannot do it for them, because guess what? Now I'm liable if there, let's say there was a leak, and because it was in a closet or something, I didn't see it, or the client later thinks I should have seen it, but it wasn't there at that point. It would just put me at a liability. So there are so many things how we keep ourselves safe, but also, and that is usually the first use of that, keeping our clients safe, right? And helping them that in case things go south after closing, and we had it this year twice, that my clients are protected and that we did all our things right. And often the client doesn't even know. We just tell our clients there are a million documents that you need to sign, a lot of disclosures, and it's all consumer protection, and it's all for your benefit. They're supposed to read all of that, but guess what? Most of them don't. We send them something to sign and they just sign it. But we always say you need to read everything, and if you have questions, ask me or ask your attorney, and then we move forward. But that is why it is so important to have a good agent, because you don't know what you don't know. And there are even some people, they sell their house by themselves on Zillow. I think that's adventurous, but they say that we sold the house before and it's not really that hard. You just put some pictures and throw it on Zillow, and there you go and sell your house by yourself. First of all, there are statistics that those houses sell for a high percentage less. They could have paid a real estate agent multiple times. Also, the buyers want a discount because now no agents are involved. Yeah, so you don't save because they ask for the discount. Why would they pay an agent? Basically, our fee is built into the sales price, right? Because someone needs to pay for it, buyer or seller. But in the end, it is built in the commissions and in the sales price. And if there is no agent involved, do you think the buyer will pay for an agent? No, they will not. Why would they? I totally get that. So you're not winning with that. And usually, per statistics, maybe you are, maybe you're awesome, but most are not. And also to keep you safe, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know that you have to have a seller's disclosure. It needs to be uploaded. It needs to be set up in a certain way. And you need to be super, super, super honest, because guess what? Twice this year in my transaction, it went to an attorney. Then it got nowhere. And in the case where I was on the buyer's side, the buyers got a whole bunch of money because there was a seller that didn't disclose honestly. And we could prove it, and guess what? They were like opening their little pocket and say, okay, before this becomes a lawsuit, here you go. And it was a substantial amount. So I'm very happy for my clients on that one. Yeah, final walkthrough. Always do one. Have your eyes open. I will go with you. I will borrow you my 2 eyes and look with you. But it is for your safety, and it's a 5-minute walkthrough. We are only looking for major damages. Do we still have a roof? Did we burn down? Did we get flooded? Do we still have a front door and kitchen cabinets? The most basic things. You don't need to be an inspector for that. Inspection already happened earlier. Okie dokie, little update from me. You guys make it a wonderful day. Bye.